Well, guys, it's where we do seem to be keeping surgeons in a job at this moment in time, as yet another Rangers player goes under the knife this season. Obviously, Danilo has had an operation recently. Seema has had surgery. There are a number of Rangers players that have had surgery, certainly keeping our private doctors. I'm sure it's private doctors. I'm sure it's not the NHS that Rangers are relying on in business, and certainly keeping them very busy at the moment. The latest player who post Old Firm has been ruled out and has undergone an operation is new signing Mohamed Diomande. So that only leaves Fabio Silva from January left rolling around, or running around, shall I say. So, you know, look, Cortez obviously goes down injured. He has to have surgery. He's out for a length of time. Then we've got now Mohamed Diomande getting injured and having to have surgery as well. This was confirmed by Philippe Clement in his press conference today ahead of a Rangers trip to Ross County on Sunday. A game that, you know, that we have to win now, you know, especially obviously given the fact that the Dundee game was postponed yet again, which we've obviously spoken about ad infinitum to death on the channel. So what is going on with Mohamed Diomande? How serious is this injury, and how long will he be out for? You know, given the fact that Ryan Jack is also out, it limits Philippe Clement's midfield options. Now, Nicholas Raskin is rumored to be available for selection this weekend, but doubtful, I think, to play 90 minutes and doubtful to start. Kieran Dowell has just come back from injury. So I suppose they are the most obvious choices, unless, of course, you play Tom Lawrence alongside John Lundstrom, giving Todd Cantwell the 10 role. That is another possibility as well. There are a number of possibilities, and we'll certainly look and discuss those. Anyway, Philippe Clement revealed that that he didn't actually say how Diomande got his injury. He said, but the good news is that he will return to first team action soon, despite having to have an operation. This is what Philippe Clement said in his presser. He said Diomande had an operation on his thumb after a contact in the Old Firm match. He will be missing this weekend. It's not a long-term one. Now, look, it's not serious, thank goodness. It's just a thumb injury. Now, I guess a lot of you are saying, well, how the hell does a thumb injury keep a footballer out? Because he doesn't use his thumbs. True, that he's a goalkeeper, I suppose. But I suppose when you undergone surgery, I suppose there's a risk to obviously the wound coming open or some further damage to whatever the injury is running around. So that's why he is out. It just does seem with us that no matter what it is, we seem to be able to get it, and we seem to be able to have an operation to sort it out, don't we? Look, the one statement that Philippe Clement makes that really scares me as a Rangers fan, and it really does worry me, is that last part of his statement. It's not a long-term one. How many times have we heard that before about Rangers players? It's not a long-term one. Said Rangers last year with Tom Lawrence. He was out for the entire season. It's not too long. It's going to be back in March for Danilo. Looks like he's out for the season. So look, you know, look, it does look like he will have to have some time on the sidelines. Hopefully, he will be back sooner rather than later. You know, it is a concern. You know, the moment you lose a player to have surgery, you know, that's just. It is a concern. You lose one of your players, and Diomande, you know, has made an impression since he arrived from Norgesland. I think, you know, some of the criticism he's got from some Rangers fans, not all Rangers fans, have been very unfair. I don't think Diomande is as bad as some people have often painted him to be. I think he looks a very good player. As I've said before, he's a player who creates space. He's a player who gets the attack moving forward. He's a player, you know, who is going to go on, I think, to have a very promising future in the game. You know, he's made 8 appearances for Rangers in the league this season and scored 2 goals. He's made 2 appearances in the Europa League with having 1 assist. Also, he's made 2 appearances in the SFA Cup. So, you know, in total this season, he has made 12 appearances with 2 goals and 1 assist. That's 3 goal contributions in 12 games, 1 in 4. Not bad for a new player who is settling into a new country, settling into a new way of playing, and settling into a new team. You know, as John Suter said earlier in the season, I think you underestimate how long sometimes it takes players to truly settle into their new surroundings, and that's certainly something that Mohamed Diomande is currently doing. On the alternative, of course, now this obviously gives Philippe Clement a problem for Sunday. You know, who does he start in that midfield role? You know, Dujon Sterling is probably one of the most obvious candidates, but then do you need Dujon Sterling at left back? Do you trust Borna Barisic enough to play at left back, even against Ross County or against anyone? or again this season. That is obviously a concern, you know, given the fact that Borna is obviously off at the end of the season. We saw quite spectacularly how Ryan Kent and Alfredo Morelos downed tools last year after they were pretty much knew that they were going to be moving on to pastures new. So that is always a worry with players that are going to leave. You know, they don't put themselves in for 50-50s. They don't put as much into the game because they don't want to get hurt and don't want to risk their massive signing on bonus. So Sterling, I suppose, is one possibility. Another possibility, obviously, is with Nicholas Raskin, who is returning from injury. But how fit is he? He hasn't got match sharpness, so that is something else. But you can only get match sharpness by playing matches. There we go. Another possibility, I suppose, is Kieran Dowell, who has just returned from injury and did look impressive when he came on in the Old Firm game. Apart from that ridiculously suicidal across the box pass that he played, he provided some impetus. He moved the ball forward well. He was certainly an attacking option from that midfield role. Another possibility, someone who's played there this year, even though it's not a favoured role of his, is Tom Lawrence, who is, you know, proven on numerous occasions he can turn his hand to a lot of different roles. Yes, he is more a winger or a 10, but he could play in that role too. So at least we have some options there. And I don't think putting Sterling in there, Dowell in there, or Lawrence in there particularly weakens Rangers going forward. Well, guys, thank you for watching Glasgow Rangers Nation. Something we can't bring you some good news for a change. Always, isn't it, with Rangers? It's the Rangers way. Thank you for watching, guys. Please, obviously, smash that sub, help the channel to keep on growing, guys. A phenomenal response to our videos yesterday. Brilliant response. Channel growing beautifully. 5,400 subscribers at time of recording. Thank you so much for that. Please smash the like on the video on the way out, guys. That's one of the things I always ask of you. And the second thing I always ask of you, well, you know what it is by now. Remember always, we are the people.